Hello. Ready to read these cards for you. Just letting me double check that I am live because it doesn't always. There we go. We are. Sometimes I'm talking away to myself and then I realize that I'm actually not live. So how are we? I had fully intended to come on a little bit earlier this morning, but I got held up with various bits and pieces that are going on in the house and a bit of work that's being done. So it's all good, and I'm here now. You maybe have already seen that I wrote a blog post earlier this morning about the four cards that have come up today. Um, Interesting that we have today got four cards from the Minor Arcana. You'll see as well, I'm holding on to my cup. It's quite cold today. Tell me what it's like where you are. Is it chilly? Is it warm? What's going on with you? Whereabouts in the world are you? Um, it's really, really cold here today. I am sitting absolutely freezing. But at the same time, let's look at these cards and see what's come up. As usual, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot deck by the lovely Chris Ann. And as you know by now, these are currently my favourite cards. Again, let me know in the comments when you're catching this what your favourite cards are. What do you like? Tarot cards? Do you like oracle cards? Do you like angel cards? What's the crack? What do you like? So over the last few weeks, we've had quite a number of major arcanas showing up, the big hitters, and there's been a lot of real like heavy hitting messages coming through the cards about really stepping up self-acceptance, stepping into who you are, understanding who you are, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of it's been quite heavy and quite big. And this week we have got four cards. Four cards popped out of the deck when I was shuffling them this morning, and they have come from the Minor Arcana. So what's interesting is that we have one of each. And when I say one of each, the Minor Arcana has four suits. It has pentacles, it has swords, it has wands, it has cups, and each one of those suits represents a different element. So earth, air, fire, water. So we are seeing all four of these come into our reading today. We're seeing all four of the suits. In the four cards, we have one from each of the suits of the Minor Arcana, and I didn't pick it that way. These were a random selection of cards that just jumped out. So um, we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have the Three of Cups. So one card from each suit. I always say when I'm teaching tarot and I'm talking about tarot with my community space, um, I always say to them, take a look. Don't just dive straight into the cards. Take a look at what's come out, and is there a message straight away? Is there something you can look at straight away? And what I took from this immediately was that okay, we've got one from each of the material elements of what makes up our universe. Here we have got the pentacles, that's earth. We've got swords, that's air. We have got wands, it's fire, and cups, it's water. And to me, that's saying, okay, there's one of each of these here. It's about bringing balance in some shape or form. And as I was going through and looking at the cards and letting the meaning percolate, which is what I always like to do, um, it really started to speak to me that there is a need for balance. Now, we know it's coming up to silly season. It is around the corner. Christmas is almost upon us. It is manic out there. I don't know about you, but I took yesterday off and had a wee cheeky day off, and I went up to Belfast with my two adult kids to do a bit of Christmas shopping for them because they're off an age now where it's like, just tell me what you want and I'll go and I'll buy it sort of thing rather than it trying to be the whole surprise. Um, there still are a few surprises because, I like to do that. But it's I noticed yesterday, I noticed the stress and strain on a lot of people's faces yesterday. I overheard some conversations about people saying that they were struggling to worry, find out where their January rent was going to come from because they had so much expense in December. I heard people talking about other people's expectations on them at Christmas time. Heard one girl talking about how she had to, you know, she was always having to sort of help out with her boyfriend's family, whereas he never helped out with hers, and there was stress and strain. She was talking about that to her friend, and these were all just snippets of conversation I was hearing as we were walking about the Christmas market and as we were walking about the shops in the town, and I could feel the stress and the energy of people. Now, as a sensitive person, I struggle with that. I sometimes am like, oh, it's too peoply out there, and I like to retreat back into my little cave. And I know that quite a number of you are feeling the same. But it struck me that, obviously I've learned techniques to protect my energy and to keep that clean as I go out and about. And I was just kind of observing what was going on as I was going about my business. I was very glad also to step out of it and get away from the craziness once, as the town started getting busier after 5 o'clock, once people got out of work. The market was getting busier. People were, there was a lot more people milling about, and there was a lot, there was alcohol had started to be taken by various people, and it was all kind of getting a bit messy, and I was very glad to get out of it. Um, yes, the lights were gorgeous. Yes, it was nice to spend some time with the kids. Yes, it was nice to have the cheeky hot chocolate at the market, and to see everything and feel the festive spirit. But it's also a really tough time of year as well. It's a tough time of year for many people. And that energy, that stretching yourself too thin financially, maybe because you're trying to sort everything out, trying to have the perfect Christmas, putting pressure on yourself for that. You're maybe getting pulled into all these different family scenarios or social scenarios that you don't want to be in, that maybe you just want to, curl up in a ball. And I think all of this has been mirrored in these 4 cards that has come out today. So let's dive in and take a little look. So we have first and foremost the Two of Pentacles that's come up. So this card's talking to me about, you know, all the stuff. It's talking to me about, you juggling. Are you juggling your different roles and responsibilities? Maybe your finances are a bit stretched right now. Okay. As we know, Christmas is just around the corner. I've been there many times myself where I've had to rob Peter to pay Paul. I remember back in the day, when the kids were small, and it was like, taken from one credit card to try and, pay the balance of another one just so that you still had enough money to free up for the Christmas food shop. So I know there's that was a hardship that I remember going through, and I had to take responsibility for my own financial direction back in the day and really sort that out. You know, this is a card about not just finances, so it's a card about being pulled in different directions. There's lots of different roles that we play in life. There's lots of different responsibilities that we have, and this is a card about being perfectly capable. I mean, if you look at this card, you can see that she's perfectly capable of juggling these. She's spinning these. They look like little bags or drums on sticks that she's got here, and she's perfectly capable of spinning them. But just because you are capable of spinning all those plates doesn't mean you should or that you have to. And I think, if you need permission to set something down, please accept this as a sign that it's your permission to set something down. I've personally had to set a few things down in the last couple of months. I had so many plates spinning at one point that I was like, I simply don't have time for me in amongst all of this. And I had to take a back seat from something that's very important to me, but I still had to take a back seat from it for a little while to recalibrate, to recharge, because I'm responsible for my energy. And that's what this card's about. This card's about, it's asking you to consider where you're spinning all those plates. It's asking you to consider how many things you're trying to juggle at once. And do you really need to? Do you really need to have them all going on? Are you working too much? Are you working all the hours God sends because you feel you have to? And then are you feeling guilty for being exhausted when it comes to family time, or you haven't got time for your partner, you haven't got time for your kids, or you haven't got time for yourself? You know, are you caring for a relative, or are you going through stuff, feeling the pressure to always be there? Do you need to ask for some help? Are your finances stretched? Are you trying to have the perfect Christmas? Are you trying to sort of be all things to all people? And, you know, the real meaning of the season being about having that time and connection and making memories rather than spending the money. Society would have us throw stacks of money out. On my mailing list. If you're on my mailing list, I've been sending out, or I will be sending out, little tips and techniques. And make sure you're following me here on Facebook, because I think it's later on this week or next. I have some ideas for Christmas gifts that won't cost you a penny. sort of non-material, consumerism. So just some things to think about. This is what this card's asking you. It's like just because you can juggle doesn't mean you have to. Just because you are capable of being able to do all things and burn the candle at both ends doesn't mean that that's always going to be the case. So take a look at it now before you burn out, because when you hit burnout, trust me, I've been there. I've burned out before, and it's not a good place because it takes a long time to come back from. A long time. And I know that this is something that some of my mentors that I work with have gone through that as well, and they've experienced that burnout. And it's always something that we talk about quite a lot of, you don't have to do everything. One of my favorite phrases is, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And for me, that's something that I have to continually remind myself of, because I'm multi-passionate. I love to be into all different things, and I love doing all different things, and I love helping as many people as I can, but sometimes I forget about me in the mix. So this is a card that's a reminder for me just as much as it is for you. You don't have to spin all the plates. Is it time to set something down? And the Four of Swords comes in to remind us as well now, your body and your mind and your soul are craving some rest and recuperation at this time of year, particularly here in the Northern Hemisphere. We're coming into the winter time now. As I said earlier, it can be a tough time. One of my best friends lost her mummy yesterday, and it was an expected death, if any death can be. But at the same time, it was after a period of illness and decline in health. I feel this in my soul because I was going through the same thing this time last year. We're approaching my mum's first anniversary. So I know this feeling of needing that, craving that rest and recuperation and wanting to hide away. Plus, at this time of year, nature's doing the same. Nature's pulling back. The leaves have gone from the trees. Everything is pulling within. Everything is coming into itself to hibernate, to rest, recuperate. And yet, what do we do as human beings? We push ourselves out there. We push ourselves and we keep going and we keep going and we keep going until we keep spinning the plates, we keep doing all the things, and then we crash and burn. So this card's asking you to take some time now before you completely burn out, okay? You know, maybe you have already been pushing too hard and your physical body has cried enough, and you have found yourself hit with an illness or plagued in some way with one of the various many bugs and lurgies that are doing the rounds at this time of year. This is a card to remind you to take some time for you, okay? Amongst all the busyness of the season, you don't have to do all the things. You don't have to be at all the parties, doing all the stuff, being of service to every single Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. You have time for you, okay? If you're like me and you're sensitive to energy, this time can be really hard to handle. The music in the shops is blaring, there's lots of noise, there's lots of hustle, there's lots of bustle. You're being invited left, right, and centre to all these Christmas things. People want you to do stuff. Meanwhile, you're trying to organise your life, you're trying to organise your kids, you're trying to organise your family. And if you're hosting Christmas dinner, you're trying to organise the food. And it's all like, okay, breathe, respect your own needs. I love this card because it's like she's in a little nest. It's like she's a little bird inside a little nest. Okay. Respect your own needs. Respect your boundaries. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay. You cannot be all things to all people. You cannot continue to spin and juggle. Okay. Everything if you do not replenish your energy. It's as simple as that. You can't drive your car if there's no fuel in it. You cannot offer someone something if you have nothing left to give. You don't let your phone go out of charge, so why do you let yourself? Replenish your energy levels. Sleep. Rest. You don't need permission to take a break. You do not need to feel guilty for having some time out. Okay? Honor your sensitivity. Maintain and honor your own boundaries. Remember that no is a full sentence. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone if you don't want to. Okay? And with that in mind, then, in waltzes the Seven of Wands. Okay, Seven of Wands. Now, I love this card because it's depicting this lady sitting in lotus position with her gorgeous essence shining from her middle. And she's in her little bubble of protected energy, and all the wands are coming at her, and she doesn't care. Because when you say no and start to honor your boundaries, it might rattle some cages along the way. Okay, other people might not get it, they might not understand, and you might feel as if you're being attacked at all from all angles because you're just trying to honor yourself, right? Again, this is also reminiscent of everything coming at you at once and you needing desperately to take some time. You have the power to stand in your own energy and to keep your zen and to keep your calm. Nobody can make you feel anything you don't want to feel. Okay. When we take the time for ourselves and we honor our needs, it becomes easier to hold that ground and to hold that space for ourselves. We give ourselves permission to stand our ground and to ground our energy into our safe place, to honor ourselves and our needs. And that sets you apart. And that does rattle a few cages, and some people don't like it, but the haters are going to hate, right? And let them crack on. You can use energy clearing techniques. If you go to the blog, there's a link in there to one I'd shared previously. And it's literally as simple as you wash off what you don't need, call back your energy, and put yourself in a bubble. It's a really simple technique. It's one I've shared a few times before. You don't need to take on everybody else's stuff here. Okay, it's like I said yesterday when I was out shopping with the kids. I tend not to do the shopping very often. I tend to do it online because it just manages my energy better. But there are some things you just need to go out for. And the kids wanted me to get them a few bits and they needed to come with me. So it was, for me, it was a choice of, well, what energy do I want to put out as I'm walking around here? Do I want to put out, stress, or do I want to exude that calm ripple of quiet, assured power and just ripple that out and let that affect people around me as their energy bounces off my bubble? That changes it from you being the victim to you actually being in control and in power so that you can spread a little ripple of joy and love as you balance your energy. So by you saying no, by you protecting your energy, you're actually doing other people a favor. That might help you step into that space. And the thing about it is sometimes when we do honor our needs and we say no to people, it kind of shocks them a little bit, but it's because they wish they could do the same. But as I said, by you doing this, you actually then create this ripple of positive energy because you're holding yours in and you're rippling that out, which that means it comes back to you. And anybody who can't fit into that will bounce harmlessly off it. Okay. Whereas when you keep saying yes and you're feeling really resentful, that energy is resentful and it's like, ugh. And that's not nice energy. And then you get more of it. And you get more arsiness and you get more difficulty and you get more people coming at you being rude or horrible. And it's just like, whoa, okay. So if you can ground your energy and center into your body and honor your needs and hold your space from a place of calm self-assurance, that will ripple out. And that in turn will allow you to be of service to more people on your terms. Okay. And finally, then we have the Three of Cups coming in. The Three of Cups has come in here and it's saying, just like we're saying about taking that time out and holding that space for yourself, surround yourself with the people who love and support you. Sometimes it might not be our family. Quite often it's not our nearest and dearest because they're sometimes the ones that push our buttons at this time of year. Think about your friends. Think about the family you have chosen. They are the family you've chosen for yourself, your besties, the ones who look after you, the ones who you like to be around and who support you. And have an honest, critical look at that. Is it a good supportive? This is a card that represents sisterhood, but equally, no matter whether it's a group of fellas that you're with, whether it's a group of girls that you're with, whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's this consciousness of being with the people who lift you up. Now, yes, that might be your family, but likewise, it might not be. It might be your friends, okay? It might be that you are in a supportive community space. Like, for example, my guys in Soul Food Circle all rally around each other whenever anything goes on. One person just has to say, listen, I'm having it tough right now, and everybody's in. What can we do? Can we help? How can we support you? How can we hold space for you? Same in my soulpreneur space, my business circle. We're having a rough time right now. Let's support each other. Lean into your communities, lean into your friendships, lean into the space. Ask for help when you need it and know that it will come. Because it's reciprocal, because you offer help whenever you know it's needed. So if you can offer help to others and then take that back for yourself as well, then it's that reciprocal relationship. It allows you to step into that Zen-like energy and hold that space for yourself so that you're rippling out that gorgeous energy of calm rather than being totally stressed. It allows you to take that time and that time out and that rest for yourself. And it allows you to feel permission to set down all those things you're juggling because you don't have to do them all. This card speaks of that sisterhood, of friendship, of connections with others from that loving, supportive space. You know, no matter what's going on in life, love always fixes it. Okay. We have a tendency to default into defensive mechanism and be aggressive, and that doesn't help. That makes it worse. Whereas we can step into love and support, it usually opens things up, opens up the lines of communication and helps us along the way. What I love about this card too is that it depicts the seven sisters, the Pleiades system, star system, and that in itself, there's many myths and legends about that star system. But in this card, it is about the strength and the support of coming together. It's about intuition and creativity. It's about that divine feminine energy, which is another nod to that self-care and that nourishment that we all need. So I think the cards this week are really asking us to honestly look at how we're spending our time, how we're spending our energy. Are you being pulled in a million different directions? Are you up to high dole with stress? Are you working far too much and not having any time for you? Are you going to crash and burn when the holidays come in because you've been working and burning the candle at both ends? And then are you going to get sick because you haven't taken any time for you? Address that now. That's what the cards are saying. Address that now. Step into some much needed self-care, into your own space. Nurture yourself. Go into your little nest. Rather than getting swept up in the mania of the season, you don't have to be all things to all people. Be true to you. Be true to your energy. Be true to your heart space. Okay? Don't worry about other people, what they think or what they say. You are a sovereign being. It's your right to say no. If you want to do something, you don't have to do it. Okay? They're also not living your life and not seeing through your lens. Okay? Surround yourself with a circle of people who love and support and care for you and who will want to see the best in you. And if you don't have that around you, reach out, see if you can find that around you. Reach out and ask for help where you can. Okay. And if you're having a tough time right now, please just hang in there. Your track record for getting through these tough times is 100% so far because you're still here. Okay. Reach out. Please don't feel you have to do anything alone. My inbox is always open if you need me. Okay. You're loved, you're needed, your energy is beautiful. Give yourself permission to rest if you need it. Okay. If you are tired, have a rest. If you are juggling too many things, set something down. If you need a hug, then have a hug. Give somebody a hug because you have to get one back. Okay. And put yourself in your lovely energy bubble and think to yourself, what energy am I giving out? Because if I can step into a place of being in my space, in my sovereign power, and giving out that beautiful calm energy, that in turn will ripple back to me. Okay? It will ripple back to me, but it will also ripple out and affect and impact the people around me in a positive way. So that was our lessons this week from the Minor Arcana. 4 cards, 4 gorgeous cards, one from each suit, that essence of balance. When you catch the replay, let me know what you think. Let me know if the card spoke to you, if there's anything you can take away from it personally. And as I say, there's a full blog. I'll drop the link to the blog into the comments. In fact, let me just do that right now because otherwise I will forget. You can catch it there. And in that blog, there is a link to the energy clearing technique that I mentioned about as well. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how life is for you as we approach the festive period. I will be back next week at the same time or on Thursday. I can't tell you exactly what time because life is. I am kind of trying to be fluid with this and just do it as and when. But I will be. I'll be back next week with the last one for this year. For the 21st of December. So I'll be back then and I'll do a little reading about solstice because we've got the shortest day coming up next week. I'll not be there the following week, okay, on the 20th, because that's my birthday and I am going to take that time for me. But I will be back in January then with more musings for the new year. So there's one more to come before the end of the year. Make sure you're on the mailing list if you aren't already. You can hop over to the website and join it there. And if you need anything at all, if there's anything I've said that has sparked something in you or you want to have a chat, just ping me a message. Okay. My inbox is open and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Here to help in any way. So enjoy the rest of this week. Have a good weekend. Remember to put yourself first and remember that you are important and so needed and so cared for. I will see you again really soon.